Send this out. Come on in, come on in. Oh, let me turn my iPad. Come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to allow more people to come in. I just sent out a notification. Today we're talking specifically about how your mind is being formatted and you're letting it happen. So we're going to break this down today. We're talking a bit of reprogramming and different things like that. So this is going to be really good. I know I haven't seen you guys all week because I've been working on some great stuff. If you are not signed up or subscribed to my Substack, you might want to go ahead and go over there. I'm talking about basically how I built a multi-six-figure ecosystem without burning myself out. It's a total of 9 letters. 2 of the letters are free. The first 2 are free. The last 7 are paid if you're a paid subscribe member to my Substack. And I'm breaking down each one of these incomes. And so the first letter just came out today, and it was talking about how I shifted my masterclass vault to pay me monthly. And I'm breaking down the entire process. I'm showing you how to do everything. I'm not gatekeeping anything because I'm not a person that gatekeeps. If you make a decision to invest in anything that I offer, for me, I am going to make sure that you get the juice, okay? So if you are a paid member of my Substack for $22 a month on the Red Knowledge Tree, you will get access to the exact system I built to be able to make about $9,000 on one specific process, from one stream, excuse me. So I'm breaking down all 7 of the streams. I did the first one today. I'm doing the rest of them for the rest of the week. So make sure you go over there and sign up. Even if you don't become a paid member, go sign up to get the free so you can become aware. Because the one thing that you do not want currently is for you not to be aware of what's going on in the world, what's going on in life, and what you need to be on top of, especially when it comes down to money making, okay? But today specifically, I'm going to talk about the biggest thing that is required when it comes down to, or when you even think about money making as a whole, and that is really like your mind, your mindset. When I'm talking about anything, if you're having trouble, and this is what tends to happen with women, women who are impulsive with money spending are usually women who are impulsive with the way that they eat, their food choices, women who are normally impulsive with men and hopping into relationships or falling too quickly, okay? The impulsivity is one aspect of what's happening in your life, but it's happening across the board. Women who tend to struggle with issues around meals, struggle with issues around money, struggle with issues around men. And so we're going to break that down today because it all starts in the mind, all right? So share this with another amazing woman who is a leader. If you don't know who I am, this is your first time joining me. My name is Elle Antoinette, and I'm a human systems strategist. And what I do specifically is that successful women come to me when they're ready to, build their internal infrastructure in order to amplify or sustain their external success. And that's whatever external success looks like to them. For some women, they may come to me and say, hey, I need support in being able to manage all of my roles. My role as a wife, my role as a mother, my role as a woman first. My role as a wife, my role as a mother, my role as a person who's operating in business, who's doing this. I need support in being able to fuel the woman who fills these roles. Okay, so that my marriage is successful. I have women who come to me about that. I have had women to come to me and say, I want to make more money in my business. So those women come to me and we amplify and 10x and multiply, and they make more money in their business. I have women that come to work with me and say, oh, I want to get healthier. I used to be 100 pounds heavier myself, so women come to help work with me, and we get the mind right, so they start losing the weight, okay, and getting healthier. So it's really, really important and really, really, really vital for you to understand that your mindset and your mind, okay, is really the root of where all of these things are going to expand. So we're going to talk about it today. If you are not formatting your mind, that means somebody else is formatting your mind, okay? So you're going to see me looking down at my iPad in my notes, okay? So I write in the notes section what I'm going to talk about. And so, again, like I said, today's title is Your Mind is Being Formatted For, and You're Letting It Happen. And this is a wake-up call for a lot of people to come into the space of understanding what's happening around you so that you don't become prey. Okay? That's my goal. I don't want you to become prey. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get you straight and get you in position. So the first thing that I want us to kind of just knock down. Hi, Lovey. One of the things I want us to knock down, and let me fix this screen. And y'all do me a favor. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly, because I want to make sure that y'all can hear me clearly. And also let me know where you're watching from this evening. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And where are y'all watching from? Hey, St. Louis. Hey, Arizona. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love me some Arizona. Girl, but I just can't live out there. I love it, though. It's so beautiful. I just can't. It's not the place that's sitting. And y'all, if my hair fall down, I'm telling y'all, I'm pulling this thing down. And I'm just going to be pulling my hair. So, because it's up here just a certain kind of way. And I feel like it's not going to sit. All right. So, again, today we're talking about... And I feel like it's not going to sit. All right. So, again, today we're talking about your mind is being formatted for, and you're letting it happen. And this is something that I'm really going to kind of dive into. So just make sure that you're paying attention. Okay. If you're not following me on YouTube, make sure that you go and you do that. It's the same name. If you are not subscribed to me on Substack and you want that real information that I'll be talking about that I can't say on here because I don't want to get banned, go over there. Okay. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. And, you can sign up for the aspect of the light feminine, which is going to be the red knowledge tree. And you can sign up for the dark feminine aspect, which is the black sanctum. And those are 2 different elements. Both excellent, but figure out where you are and go sign up for whichever one you need. If you need both, go ahead and go sign up for both. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and get straight to it. Your mind is being formatted for, and you're letting it. Okay. The first thing that I want to talk about is the lie of control. Okay. I want to talk about the lie of control because a lot of us think that because we're saying things or we're making so-called decisions that we are really in control of our lives. But I'm kind of here to bust the bubble, and it might shock some. It may be like, you know what, I realize that. But either way it goes, it's going to make you think. You probably have been thinking that you've been making decisions, but what if your mind has already been programmed? Hold tight now. You think that you're making decisions, but what if your mind is already programmed? I want you to ask yourself this question, okay? When was the last time you had a thought that was fully your own? Didn't come from social media, didn't come from a book, didn't come from something you were watching, didn't come from a conversation. When is the last time, and you don't have to put this in the comments, but I really want you to just think about it for a second. And when you've thought about it, heart this live for me to let me know that you are thinking about, or you've thought about, like, and you're really trying to figure out when was the last time that you truly had a thought on your own that came literally from you. I want you to really think about that for a second. Here's what I want you to know. We are not blank slates like we think we are. We're not blank slates. The reality is that we are mirrors. Remember, if you've been following me for a while, you hear me say all the time, your children are your teachers and your mirror at the same time. If you have the privilege, the honor, the responsibility of bringing life here in the form of children, right? Those children will be your mirrors, especially them teenage years, baby. Okay? And they will be your teachers because they will show you yourself. Right? We are not blank slates. We are mirrors. And most of us are out here mirroring madness. And this is why you can't seem to get the things that you truly desire. The things that you really want doesn't seem to manifest for you, or you find yourself in the same scenarios over and over again, no matter how hard you work and no matter how much therapy you go to and no matter how much shadow work you do and all these things, you still find yourself in a space to where you are like, this is just a struggle. I'm not getting ahead. I can't get forward, because you are a mirror. And a lot of times you'll hear me talk about the jump from $100,000 to $500,000 or even five on up. Is it requires mirror work, which requires you to look at your own reflection, figuratively and literally. Look at your own reflection, and look at the reflections in your life. Your relationships are your reflections. Your relationship with food, your relationship with finances, your relationship with the fellas. All of these things are connected. And these are the things that we really have to pay attention to. So like I said, we are not blank slates. We literally are mirrors, and most of us are mirroring madness. And let's talk about where this comes from. So a lot of the control you think you have over your life, you don't have. You're being ruled by a program, your childhood program. You see, I'm gonna get into it. Let me make this really clear. If you don't actively, keyword actively, reprogram your mind, the world will format it for you by default. Somebody put default in the comments. If you don't actively reprogram your mind from the things you experienced in childhood, from the things you have been told about yourself, if you don't actively reprogram your mind, the world will format it for you by default. You will be trying to find your identity in society. And if you notice, society keep moving the goalposts. I've done this before, but I want you to pay attention to something. I'm a millennial, right? And I'm a millennial on the older side, so I'm 41. So when I was growing up, there were a multitude of shifts in the beauty realm of what a beauty standard was. When I was growing up, it was Sir Mix-a-Lot, you had to have a big butt. Then it went from Baywatch, you had to have big boobs. Then it went to the stage where Maya, the singer, came out, and it was like, okay, you had to be a little curvy. Then it went to thick like Nikki, right? Now it's going back to something very, very different. If you notice, society keeps moving the goalposts. And I'm going to say this again. If you don't actively reprogram your mind, the world will format you by default. They will tell you what beauty is, and you will believe them. And when you don't fit into that standard of beauty, guess what you're going to feel about yourself? That you are not beautiful. What's the problem with that? Women have beauty currency. So if you don't understand that beauty is currency, a currency that you have as a woman, and you believe you don't have that, guess how magnetic you're going to be? Or let me say this, what do you think you're going to be attracting? Not even that. Let's do this. Let's take it up a notch. What do you think you're going to be settling for? Whatever you feel like you can get. Why? Because you don't see your own magnetism. Why? Because you don't know yourself. Because you're disconnected from yourself, the truth about yourself. You believe what society has told you. And because of that, you have done everything that they said that you need to be doing. And even with all of that, you still don't feel beautiful. You still don't feel this. You still don't feel that. See, this is why it's dangerous to allow yourself to be formatted by societal programming. You guys have heard me tell this story. Y'all, this bun is bothering me. I'm about to fix it for my own nerves. Y'all have heard me say, right, that for many years, I did not think I was a beautiful woman. If this is not your first time being live with me, you heard me say that for many years, I didn't think that about myself. I thought I was cute. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really think I was a beautiful woman because I compared myself to societal standards. I used to be 100 pounds heavier, all these different things and yada, yada, yada. And when I deconstructed from societal standards, it's like my beauty and my magnetism went whoop, like insane. And how that happened was I became rooted in the truth of what spiritually my creator said about me, and I really tattooed on my heart and really believed it. So like the president, whoever, can say that I'm not attractive or that I'm ugly, and I would look at them and be almost wanting to laugh, because what that lets me know is that you don't know yourself. Because what I know about me is that I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. That's very clear, right? And because I understand that and I adopt that as truth, you saying anything against that and not being my creator or the creator of all things means that you don't even understand your own dynamic. And if you don't understand your own dynamic, you surely are not going to recognize my dynamic. So you're not even qualified to speak on me. So why would I believe you? Why would I believe you if you said I was ugly? Why would I believe you if you said I hit a wall? Why would I believe you? See, these are the things, like, when you know the truth about yourself, you can combat the BS that's coming. Like, when people try, like, you can push against that, and you don't even have to fight it. You just don't have to accept things that are not true. But if you don't have truth to compare that to, again, let's go back to this again. If you don't actively reprogram your mind, the world will format you by default. So you will automatically live by their standards, when their standards were created to keep you a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical slave. If they can't get you in jail, they get you in debt. If they can't get to your emotions directly, they'll put content or things out there to get you emotionally riled up. Like, and they do this with mentally, they do this spiritually. Like, all these things are to keep you in a form of slavery, in a form of bondage. Why is that? Because the truth would actually set you free. The truth would actually allow you to realize that you could create your own reality if you understand spiritual law. I had someone to hop in my live sometime last week, and she was like, why do the billionaires, why do they have all this money? Why is it, this and this, that? They use spiritual law, but they use it on the dark end. They do. They understand it. They know it. Why do you think they hiding all that stuff in that place that start with a V? That's where a lot of the real stuff is. Why do you think they don't want to let a certain demographic know who they really are? Because you would understand how much power that you actually have. But illusion or control is the element of it, is the currency of illusion. If I can continue to sell you a dream or even sell you a nightmare and you buy into it, I can control the way you act. I can control the way you behave. It's highly likely I'm going to be more in control of you than you have control of yourself. And this is why self-control is a fruit of the spirit. It's not just because you need to close your legs. It's because you need to be able to be in control of yourself, because there are so many other entities. There's so much more darkness and principalities being worked against you to try to get control of you. So if you are in control of self, then you will make decisions for the betterment of self. Okay? But all of this goes back to you understanding truth. Now let's talk about the list of common programmers, right? Because I said if you're not actively reprogramming your mind, then the world is, programming you and formatting you by default. So let's talk about the common programmers. Let's talk about how you got to where you are. Culture programmed us. Your childhood has programmed you. Your church has programmed you. Your trauma has programmed you. If you be on TikTok doom scrolling, TikTok has programmed you. Trends have programmed you. And survival habits have programmed you. These are things that subconsciously, especially when they are repetitive, because repetition is the language of the subconscious mind, which is why you still know the ABCs to this day, because you had to continue to keep saying it, right? You had to continue to keep saying it. So because of that, it's burned in your subconscious mind. Hi, lovey, right? So all of these things that you've experienced, the things you're focusing so much on, the culture, your childhood, church, trauma, TikTok, trends, survival habits, all of these things, they program you. Okay? Now let me show you a little bit of what divine programming looks like and why that's different. So this is something I like to call kind of like the physics of focus a little bit, okay? What you focus on, you format. Okay, somebody put format in the comments for me. What you focus on, you format too, specifically. Okay? So if you focus on the fact that there is no money, there is no this, everything is going up, yada, 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 yada. What is going to happen is that is going to be your reality. Why is that going to be your reality? Because you spent so much time focusing on that, you could not balance and ground your energy enough to execute or even be open to receive a download that would support you in creating a different reality, whether that is getting more money or anything like that, without having to exert the effort that you would think you have to do. This is why I always tell women, when women come to me and I say, what is one of those? I want to make more money. Pause. We don't want to make more money. That's not what we want to do. We want to position ourselves to receive more money. That is what we want to do. We don't want to make more money. See, already in your mind, when you hear the word, or you hear, I need to make some more money, you immediately start to think, what can I do to get money? You're already in the wrong. You're already hurting yourself. You're already going against your feminine design because you're operating out of alignment. You immediately going in to try to do. And that's the quickest way to exhaust yourself. Instead of saying, do or make, okay, you want to say, I need to position myself to receive more money. So now we start asking, where do I need to position myself? See, these are the things you go in and you asking the creator. When you come to the realization, you don't start doing it on your own. And that's why y'all be wondering why I don't be working. That's why I don't be working right there. Hi, love. Because y'all just want to do what you want to do. Y'all won't even let the Most High do for you. But y'all be like here begging, talking about men won't do for you. You won't even let your creator do for you. All you got to do is ask. Literally tells you that in James, ask. You ask, you get an answer, you move. You move based on that answer. You know what that's called? Alignment. Now you're going to be in position to receive. Because what if the next thing that you hear is go to this coffee shop? And you like, what? The coffee shop, it's 8 a.m. I just got up. But you just prayed about that. And you hear go to the coffee shop. Next thing you know, you in a coffee shop, you meet somebody that puts you in a position to be able to receive. Let me not remind y'all that I had a client one time who had to figure out what she wanted to do and what she needed to do within like 30 days. The next 90 days. She needed childcare. She wanted to be on a farm. She wanted all these different type of things. Within 30 days of the session that we had, and I was telling her some things to do, I was telling her to ask some questions and to follow those things that she heard when she asked those questions. Do you know within 30 days, not only did she get the house on the farm, it was like a cabin style that she had been wanting. It was all these things. It was on 200 acres of land. This is when she was saying that she wanted animals near, and it was horses near. She wanted to be around women who understood like rearing children, and she ended up connecting with a woman who was on the same type of time, and they started talking about childcare stuff. She went from having nowhere to go to having support, and she didn't say, oh, I got to go out here and figure out how I'm going to go get this money, how I'm going to do that. No, I need to sit back and I need to listen, because what I understand is that when we're playing chess, pay attention now. When we're playing chess, which life is a big game of chess. Somebody put chess in the comments. Life is a game of chess. I need you to understand this. Life is a game of chess. And when you sit back and you listen as the queen, okay, you will know exactly how you need to move. As a queen, you can move anywhere on the chessboard. You are the most powerful piece on the chessboard, okay? Because you are the most powerful piece on the chessboard, you have to move intentionally, you have to move strategically, and you have to move like your next move is going to be your best move, because it could be your last move. And see, that's how real it is when it comes down to life. As a woman, especially right now, you need to understand, you're welcome, love y'all, praise to the Most High, that your next move needs to be strategic, needs to be intentional, and you need to move like your next move is your best move, because it could be your last move. Everybody is 1 foot in this world and 1 foot out of it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And the more as time goes on, the more savage people are going to become. And you need to move wisely as a woman. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff, and it's not giving wise. It's not giving wise. It's giving foolish. It's giving you about to become prey. It's giving you position yourself for poverty. Okay? So, what you focus on, you format to. And this, what I'm talking about, is rooted in Colossians 3 and 2. Everything I teach is rooted in scripture and backed up by science. Colossians 2 speaks on setting your mind on things that are above. See, when you think about scripture, and you even think about in the beginning, right? There's water here, there's earth, and there's water here. Okay? So when it says focus on things that are above, things that are above the earth, because what's happening in the middle here in the earth is not the fullness of reality. You are not being told the fullness of what is really going on. Okay? You have to know that. You cannot trust these systems that are speaking. If they're not giving you the full truth and allowing you to choose the reality you desire in a way that's honorable, like we all should be able to do according to scripture, because we are always created in the likeness and the image. See, it's a bunch of people that got greedy because they knew sacred knowledge, and they took that sacred knowledge and they hid that sacred knowledge, and they use that sacred knowledge against us because they play on top of our ignorance, because we don't know ourselves, though we have no access to the sacred knowledge. We get frustrated by it. We don't want to sit and we don't want to read the scripture because we don't understand. You don't understand the scripture is a book of codes. If you sit with it long enough and you ask, it will reveal itself to you. Your spiritual gifts will heighten. You will realize you never needed to practice magic. You are walking magic. Magic by definition is of supernatural source. And you understand your ultimate source. And the power source, according to Luke 17:21, has been sitting within your chest the entire time. Because the kingdom of heaven is within you. So the only way out is through. And when you go through, you can set your mind on things that are above, because you can see past the illusion. There are illusions of fear being put out there to try to shape you and to control you. They want you to crash out. They have a plan for that. Like I told you, they want you to be a spiritual, mental, emotional, and eventually physical slave. I'm trying to tell you something without telling you. You have got to get control of your mind and your mindset. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. So let's get into this. What you focus on, you format and reference in Colossians 3:2, which is set your mind on things that are above, right? When we break this down, the word set, okay? If you go to the Strongs and you look at it, the word set is a present, active, imperative, okay? So I want you to really, really understand that focus, to set your mind on something, is to focus. It's not passive. It's a decision and it's discipline. To zone in on something and decide to only do that, it is a decision and it's discipline. So kill all that I don't know how to focus. I just killed all that I don't know how to focus. I'm so for real. And I want you to really think about it. Focus is nothing. It's a skill set. You have to train. When they taught you the ABCs, they taught you to focus on it. You had to zone in on it. Some of us got popped when we didn't know it, if we weren't saying it the way we needed to. You had to focus. When you had to go potty, guess what? When you were getting potty trained, or if you potty trained a child, you make them understand and they focus when they need to go to the restroom. So these are the things that we need to pay attention to. Focus is not passive. It's a decision and it's discipline. I'm going to focus on saving money. That's a decision and that's discipline. What's that y'all be saying? Oh, I don't know how to focus. I lack focus. I'm easily distracted. No, you don't want to make a decision. You don't want to make a decision. You're really not about that life. That's your truth. That's your truth. Okay? She said, sure is. I'm retraining myself when I practice it. It really works. It does. Every single time. That's one of my clients right there, Mariah. Focus is not passive. Like I said, it's a decision and it's discipline. Focus is not a mood. Okay? Hey, Queen Mother Girl. Thank you. Focus is not a mood. It's an agreement. To say I'm going to focus on saving money is a decision and it's discipline and it's an agreement with yourself. And when you come into agreement with yourself on things, you are to honor your agreements. Because if you don't, you will attract people in your space who don't honor their agreements. And you judge them for not showing up for you when you don't show up for yourself. Look in the mirror. Let's go back to reflection work. I told you that in the beginning. See, all of this is a reflection of you. You think these people treat you like this just because, please. You're such a good man. Look, again, what you focus on, you format to. This is rooted in Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things that are above. Set, again, is to be present, to be active, imperatively, okay? So focus is not passive. It's a decision and it's discipline. Focus is not a mood. It's an agreement. Attention is a covenant. See, when you give your attention to something, you come into agreement with it. A covenant is to come into agreement. So you come into agreement with whatever it is that you are giving your attention to. I don't even like him like that, but you give him your attention. You still come into agreement, but you don't like him like that. Make it make sense. There's some aspect of you that agrees. And this is what you have to pay attention to. So let's get into the space of how we shift this and how this shifts and becomes the pipeline of self-sabotage. You want to know why you self-sabotage? Let me help you out today. There is a beautiful thing. It's not a beautiful thing. Let me correct myself. I'm about to help you break a spell that society has put on you. And once I tell you this, you're going to see it in everything. If you have ears to hear, you're going to see this in everything, and it's going to make you check yourself, okay? When it comes down to self-sabotage. There is a spell that society has casted, okay? That the ones who are doing what they're doing, that they have casted, and it is a pipeline. There is an idea to idealize to idol pipeline. I'm going to say it again. There's an idea to idolizing to an idol pipeline. And this is all set up by design. It's one of the greatest spells of all time. I'm not even going to lie to you. Break it for yourself when I get done explaining. For example, we have an idea of something. I want success. I want success because you see success in the form of the illusion that is being presented to you. And so what you see, you desire and you want. So you look at that as success. So you want success, right? That's the idea. You want the idea of what you see. Now we start to idolize this idea. Success looks like her life. That's what success, I want that. See, this is why lifestyle marketing did so good during the pandemic. Oh, you flying out? I want to fly out. I want to work from anywhere and do my business. I want to be working on the beach. I want to do this. Success looks like her life. Now we idealizing it, but you ain't really knowing about the months that she hit on zero. You're not really knowing that the plane that she's on is really a prop. You're not really knowing that the numbers that she's showing you, they made up. Yes, there are people who join communities and their leaders will tell them to make up numbers to make it seem like this is what they're making. I'm too scared of the Most High to play them kind of games because I understand the spiritual responsibility when it comes down to teaching and leadership. You're held to a higher standard. And I just ain't finna play with the Most High like that. So I ain't got time to play with y'all. I don't want to deal with them ramifications. I'm just not. It's not that serious for me. Right? Exactly. So while you're idealizing something, you're idealizing an illusion. Again, what did I say in the beginning? I said control is the currency of illusion. The goal, thank you, my love, for these gifts. The goal is to control your perception, to make you believe that this is happening this way and this is what you can have this way. Just simply, right? Nothing else. Now we go into the idol space. If I don't have that life, I'm nothing. So we went from I want success, the idea of success, to success looks like her life. I want that. To if I don't have that life, I'm nothing. See, this is what happens with business owners that come into business and you comparing somebody's chapter 10 to your chapter 1. So you coming in and you looking at what they got going on. You're like, how's she making this money in this short period of time? She understands the game. She understands the systems. She has people working behind the scenes that you don't see. And here you go saying, okay, I got to work hard and do this so I can get there. You're idealizing with the idea of what you think is happening. And then when you don't hit that, you putting yourself down like, I'm nothing. Let's talk about this in a way that a lot of women really can understand. Let's talk about men. Women love the idea of marriage. Oh, women love the idea of marriage. Take it from someone who is married and who possibly may get married again, but I'm wiser now. But understand this when it comes down to marriage. A lot of women don't know what a marriage is. They don't know what marriage is for real. You don't understand, and I say this, and I'm going to say this until I'm gone. You need to realize you are walking down an aisle to an altar. Okay? 2 things you need to pay attention to. Here comes the bride walking down the aisle. Do you realize that an aisle is thin? It's not a wide space. It's a very thin, narrow space. Okay? Not a lot of people can walk down the aisle, right? Maybe like 2 at a time. That's a story within itself. It's just you and him on that road, headed to an altar. See, let's go. Y'all ain't thinking about, y'all want to jump the broom and I want to have this. Get up. You walking down this aisle as you and him. You understand? When you walking all the way down that aisle, that's a journey. Exactly in a straight line. That's a journey. You walking slow. That's you walking. That's slow through a journey. Do you understand that? And then when you get to the altar, an altar represents sacrifice and offering. You are offering yourself up. Do you understand that? You are offering a good portion of what you thought your life was going to be when you considered joining this bloodline. You are offering these things up. Do you understand? You are sacrificing certain things. See, women feel like they can walk down the aisle to the altar, ain't got to sacrifice nothing, ain't got to offer nothing. You are the offering. Ma'am, that ain't how it works. It literally tells you in scripture, the scripture you claim you live by, that a man who find a wife find a good thing because he find favor in the Lord. The woman's supposed to be favored. How is the woman favored? That means that woman is activated. Are you activated? Do you know your spiritual gifts? Do you operate in them? Do you know how to expand? Do you know how to multiply? And I ain't talking kids. Do you know how to multiply? Can you be given a seed and multiply? Or you don't know how to manage yourself? See, are you prepared to fuel yourself first so that you can fuel your roles? Are you prepared to step in line to carry on and give this man lineage? Have you done the proper assessment to realize and see that his bloodline is worth carrying and continuing on? Don't piss me off. You like the idea of marriage as long as it's cute. What if that man gets sick? What if you find out he got a mental illness after the fact? Y'all, let me tell you, because women so fake. I'm talking about going hard for Keisha Kaur, about how she flipped Gucci money and he was in jail and she bad and she this and she looked good and she didn't have it and she didn't did this. The minute she got online and told y'all what he dealing with, the way that she is supporting him, the things that she has had to do being his wife, the way she's had to step in, y'all judged her. Y'all just the piss out that lady. But that lady was being a wife. You know what she was doing? Walking down that aisle with him. See, this is a part of the journey down the aisle. You know that, she walked up there by herself. But when she came back and they was holding hands, coming from the I do's and from the altar, they started walking that journey together. And this was a part of his journey. See, y'all, that's what I'm saying. You like the idea of something, sweetheart. See, y'all don't read. This is why Paul tell y'all in scripture is he tell y'all it's better to not marry because you ain't got to worry about nobody else. All you got to do is worry about yourself. But no, y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen. You don't understand. You got to consider somebody else. You got to wake up every single day and it's what do I need to give myself so that I can serve? Marriage is servitude. You like the idea of something. You like the idea. But here's the question. Where did you get that fake idea? See, Disney sold you that idea that butterflies in your stomach mean love. So you started idealizing every single man who came into your space that gave you butterflies, put him on a pedestal, jumping his potential into kinetic energy, like he actually moving and doing something, making himself, making him like he's just so amazing and so grand. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these comments. I'm talking about you idealizing the hell out of him. Okay? He up here all of a sudden, oh my God, he's doing all this, da 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 da. You idolizing him now. You done made him your guy. Oh, I woke up and I was thinking about him. What? I woke up and you was the first thing on my mind. You be the last thing on my mind. What? God ain't on your mind. The Most High not on your mind like that. Your creator is not on your mind like that. You not on your mind like that. Girl, you at the store. Ooh, I think this would be nice for him. Let me get this for him. And you're doing it from a place of, oh yeah, I just want to do this for him. But when he not doing that back for you, you got a problem. But then you get mad when somebody say, I didn't ask you for all that. These are the things that we have to start telling the truth about. You put him on a pedestal. The minute you put him on a pedestal, you made him an idol, baby. Idealizing, idol. And the Most High is a jealous God. And when that idol is snatched from you, or it runs away from you, or it does something to violate you, you feel crushed. You feel like you're nothing without it because you gave everything. And why in the fudge round would you do that? There's nowhere in scripture that tells you that you are to be a self-sacrifice to love. It doesn't say sacrifice yourself. There are sacrifices, but to sacrifice yourself is insane. See, y'all will sacrifice yourself instead of making the proper sacrifices, and then you be feeling like people owe you something. No, baby, you owed you. You owed you. That's who you owed. Okay? So again, this is the greatest spell of all time that society has casted. Okay? The powers that be, the darkness and principality, they've cast it over society. We love the idea of a thing. We love the idea of having a business. We idealize it. We make it an idol. We love the idea of marriage. We idealize it. Then you idolize marriage. Then you talking about some, Sierra and da-da-da. And I'm not knocking them. I think they're a beautiful couple. But nobody are my couple's goals. Because I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Thank you, love. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. There's no couple like, oh my God, couple goals. Absolutely not. Because think about it, every time y'all do that, they show you something. Y'all did this with Will and Jada for years, and then boom, everybody want to talk about them. Like, cut it. The way you work your relationship is for you to know yourself. Because if you know yourself, you're going to always choose yourself. And you're going to make decisions based on what's best for yourself, including the people you have in your life, period. Ain't no rules. All the rules are fake. You create the reality that you want. See, I'm telling you, and I wrote a Substack article about this. Okay? Partnerships and relationships about to look real different. Men don't need women for the same things, and women don't need men for the same things. People are going to be getting together to get married for strategic alignment. People are going to be having conscious co-creation. People are going to be having children, not even necessarily for love, but like, hey, your bloodline, my bloodline, this is what we need to be doing, boom. People, I'm telling you. And then some people are going to be married, getting married, and then they're going to be other people getting married, and they getting married because they ain't got no resources, they broke, and they feel like they need to marry this man to survive. And I would not want to be in that position, because I'm going to tell you something. DV finna go up. SA finna go up. And if you think you finna be in these men's spaces and not think that men are not the masters of energy reading, and they ain't going to realize you don't like them for real, they're going to turn up on you. And it don't make no sense when you have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. Meaning you should never be broke. You should never have to go lay on your back to get nothing. You should never have to position yourself to be prey in order to be taken care of. What kind of God do you serve? All that spirituality and you still ain't connected? All that texting, you still ain't rooted in truth? All that churching and you still don't believe? Don't piss me off. The pipeline, I'm telling you, the pipeline is so real. They make every idea seem like it's so this and it's so that, so you can idolize it. If you idolize it, then you take your mind off the things that are above. And if you're not keeping your mind on the things that are above, you're not getting the downloads that you need to get so you know how to move. So you're making moves on your own accord. You're leaning on your own understanding. And you wonder why you keep repeating the same cycles. That's what they want. That is literally what they want. Idea to idealize to idol. So you don't lose focus. You enter into idolatry. There is no such thing. Let me go back to it. There's no such thing as you can't focus. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this again. And I'm telling you, it's going to break the spell off many people who feel like they really cannot focus. That's a lie. Focus is a skill set. Okay? Here are the skill sets that you need. Focus is not passive. It's a decision and it's discipline. Let me give you an example. I'm going to focus on saving my money this month. That's a decision and that's discipline. That's also agreement. So it's not based on your mood. So that means your attention is covenant. So you're going to focus on things that are going to keep you in a space of staying in agreement with yourself. So you can focus on meeting the goal. You don't struggle. You don't have a focus issue. You don't like making decisions because you don't know the outcome. And you're scared of not knowing the outcome, so you won't make the decision. And this is why it tells you in scripture to not be attached to the things of this world. The reason why you attach to the outcome is because you attach to the things of this world. And I was having this conversation the other day. Free yourself as a woman. And I'm about to free you from another curse real quick. Free yourself as a woman, worrying about if a man is going to leave you. Free yourself from that. Because I'm going to tell you, let me give you the realest thing that you probably ever heard. One of y'all leaving anyway. One of y'all leaving in life, or one of y'all leaving in death. People die every day, B. Oh, you thought if you do everything right that everything is just going to go your way? See, this is the false reality too that people have with God. Like, if I do everything God say, then everything going to go my way and I'm going to have everything I want. Let me tell you something. Relationships, and I say this all the time, it's like a revolving door, baby. When you're going through the revolving door, at least for me, I always have fun. Because it's like a roller coaster, and I'm a roller coaster girl, right? So imagine me going through the revolving door with someone, and I love this person so much, right? Eventually, somebody going to have to exit the door. It's either going to be me first, or it's going to be that person first. That's the reality of relationships. They are revolving doors. Y'all are trying to keep people forever when forever is not, and that's another spell. Forever is not something that you can experience on this earth because everything has an expiration date, including water, baby. You can't hold on to anything. which is why you're not supposed to. And because you are holding on to these things, you can't get to where you need to go. You can't get what you need to receive because your hand's so tight. Holding on to something that you feel like you need, that you feel like you gotta have, and you ain't even gotta have that. It's more for you. But because you focus your attention on this, and you're in agreement that this is for you, that's what you decided, and you don't want to decide anything different. That's what you focused on. You ain't got no focus issue. Stop telling yourself that lie. See, this is why it tells you again, there's power of life and death in the tongue. Watch the things you speak of yourself. Oh, I lack focus. No, you don't. You don't want to make a decision and you're not ready to be disciplined. That's going to require you to come into agreement with something different, and that makes you feel uncomfortable. Tell the truth. See, when you tell yourself the truth, you can create a new reality because now you're free. And when you're free, people can't put you back in shackles when you freed yourself. See, a lot of you carry a lot of shame and sit on the frequency of shame because you allow yourself to be shackled there worrying about other people. Other people don't have your key to free you. You admit the who you were or what you did when you did not understand your value. You accept that radically. You honor yourself at this point, and nobody else can put you back in chains because you freed yourself. You always had the key. You are walking key, but you won't even use it. You won't even use it. So like I said, this whole idea to idealize the idol pipeline, the goal for them is to get you to enter into idolatry, for you to make marriage an idol, to make love an idol, to make anything outside of yourself really an idol. That's the goal. Because if you're so focused on that, you can't focus on you and you can't execute the things you're supposed to execute. So guess what that means? You missed the mark. And to miss the mark, what's the definition of sin? To miss the mark. If you're so focused on him, you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. So let me put this in your ear. And you go for it every single time. And so you spend so much time focused here that you don't get this done. You lose time over here when it comes down to you. I need you to understand something. Hear me when I say this. A man can't take your time, but understand this, right? If you give your time, understand you're losing time. If you are the one who is giving your time, understand you are the one who's losing time. This is why you have to be very careful how you steward your time. Okay? Extremely important, extremely valuable. All right? Again, you didn't lose focus. You entered into idolatry, and that is what society wants. All right? A lot of you have been calling things that are misalignment strategy, but it's really self-betrayal. It's really self-betrayal. Okay? What a lot of women believe that they're succeeding at right now in life is actually what is draining them and tiring them out. Here's the next thing I need you to understand, okay? Your mind is a mirror, not a machine. Your mind is a mirror, not a machine. Okay? Reality creation does not equal manifestation. This is not about attracting what you want. It's about anchoring your mind so deeply in divine law that you stop reacting to temporary things. Everything on this earth is temporary. Everything on this earth is temporary. But they said this happening. Everything on this earth is temporary. They saying this no. Everything on this earth is temporary. Even these cycles and these games and these gimmicks and these things they continue to repeat year after year that you're not catching the pattern of. Stop reacting to temporary things. This society thrives on you being anxious. Why? Why does it thrive on you having anxiety? Because if you have anxiety, then you are sick. And if you are sick, then you have to become a slave to their system to get support. But you're not realizing that being anxious, allowing yourself to sit in long periods of anxiousness is what is really rooted in a violation spiritually. Because it tells you not to be anxious for anything. Well, what am I supposed to do if they saying this and this is happening? So now we go back to your belief. Now we go back to your belief. If you are a person who claims to be a believer and you believe that the Most High supplies all of your needs, then why would you be worried about not having? You would believe and you would know that there's always going to be a supply for you. Because to your understanding, you have never seen the righteous forsaken, begging for bread. You have not seen this happen. So what is it that you are really worried about? You're worried about, you're welcome, love you. You're worried about the illusion that they're selling you. There's no this, there's no that, there's no this. Have you ever thought to yourself and asked, well, why is there no this? If we're this, then why is it no this? And how is it this? See, when you start asking questions, you start getting answers. You start getting understanding. Okay? Thank you, love. And these are the things that you have to think about. You have to anchor your mind. You don't need to attract more. You need to attune higher. You need to attune higher. Money, today they retired the penny. Don't say that. Today they retired the penny. Did y'all know that? They was like, oh, rest in peace to the penny. I saw this whole little thing, or whatever the case may be. They are preparing. I've been telling y'all for years anyway. This whole little money, the money y'all hiding and all of that, y'all gonna realize what I told y'all, started telling y'all 2-3 years ago is what it is. You are time, you are energy, you are attention, and you are money. Hi, Lovey. You are the value. And you're going to show and see that if you can't articulate and create value, then you're not going to be able to receive income. The value was never in the dollars, the paper. The paper is made up of 75% cotton, 25% linen. Go look that up on Google if you don't believe me. It has no value. The only reason you think it has value is because they told you that, didn't you? Again, another illusion. We've been trading paper for years. Knocking people down, unaliving people for paper for years. All because we were told that this paper has value when you really are the value. Don't believe me? When you work at a 9-to-5, if everybody decided not to come into that 9-to-5, you know how much value, how much that company would lose? They would be begging y'all to come back. Why would they be begging? Because they need you. They need you in order to get paid, because you are the value. You are the resource. That's why they have human resources, to manage the resources. They're not there to help you. They're there to manage the resources. You are a part of that as a human resource. So, if you understand that, and you can create value at a corporation that doesn't value you, you can create value in a way and articulate in a way that puts you in position to get paid without you exhausting yourself. Women who come to work with me have 3 results. They, 1, make more money. 2, they get healthier. 3, they attract better community, as well as they attract better relationships with the masculine. All of this comes from a shift spiritually, mentally, which then impacts them emotionally, which causes them to physically shift. These are the things that we have to pay attention to. You have to attune higher to be able to do this. Thank you, Lovey. Let's talk about the emotional consequence. When you set your mind, or when your mind is set on survival, everything becomes a threat, even truth. Everything becomes a threat, even truth. That's why you overthink. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you protect your limitations more than your vision. These are the things that you have to pay attention to, because it's so vital and so important. I keep telling you, a lot of you don't. Okay? You don't. Yeah, tell them, Courtney. Let me screenshot. Come on. It's going up on YouTube. Tell them, show have since 2022. Baby, I remember, listen, and I'm going to tell y'all, I remember when Courtney first came, and I think she had gotten like relationships and revenue when it was like big. And I'll never forget that June, I think after, Courtney had sent me a message, and she was like, an email, and she was like, this is the highest I've made in my salon. I made $7K this month, and I hired 3 new staff. I'm working on this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. And I have just watched her like transition and like grow and just like become more and more and more amazing and more of herself. And I'm telling you, pay attention, y'all. You have to know your value. You have to know your value. It's money. It's a lot of money out there. People are buying and people are buying. If you are in business, you need to be on. If you are in business, you need to be in Substack, on my Substack. Okay, because I'm talking about money that moves like you this week. I'm talking about the 7 streams of income. 9. I'm sorry. The 7 streams of income and the 9 sources that came from 9 sources. That I literally have been able to benefit from, and it's built my multi-6-figure ecosystem, okay? Where I don't have to hustle, I don't have to work, and I'm showing you each day how to and what to do in these systems. Today I dropped about the master classes and how to do them and how to set them up and how to compound that money to double it, how to do this. I'm teaching you everything, so you never can say that I didn't give you the game. Do you have guys too? I've had men to buy products and things from me, but not working with them directly, just to come buy products. So I'm teaching you and I'm breaking this stuff down. So make sure that you're on my Substack. Like I said, the first 2 letters are on me. Those are free. When we start breaking down the exact frameworks, this is how you make your money. That's the investment. It's $22 a month. But what I'm giving you is literally how to build a 6-figure business by not stressing yourself out, by setting your systems up. I'm not holding back. There's no gatekeeping in that. If you ever work with me, you already know I don't gatekeep. I give you what you need to know because I need to see the results from you, right? So again, let's talk about the emotional consequence one more time. When your mind is set on survival, everything becomes a threat, even true. This is why you overthink. This is why you procrastinate. This is why you protect your limitations more than your vision. And again, you don't lack discipline. You lack alignment. Okay? Let's break this down real quick. Spiritual order first, emotional regulation second, behavioral consistency third, and then peace and power fourth. Okay? That is what this looks like. When you are spiritually rooted, it's easier for you to emotionally regulate. Once you're emotionally regulated, you can become consistent in your behavior. The reason why people are unstable is because they're not regulated. And they can't regulate because there's no spiritual order. Because there's no order, there's no truth and fortitude of the mind. So there is going haywire, which means the emotions are going to go haywire and the behavior is going to be haywire. Okay? Say this again. Spiritual order, emotional regulation, behavioral consistency. You're going to get that peace. You're going to act in power. You don't just gain discipline. You embody it through focus and obedience. Okay? I'm going to give you an example of this. Let's just say you're in a toxic relationship or you've ever been in a toxic relationship. If you're the type who constantly overfunctions to keep the peace, you explain your worth instead of being valued outright, because there's a difference, okay? You stay because you see the potential even when reality shows you otherwise. You hope love is going to change him even though his behavior is extremely, extremely clear. That is not love. That is emotional chaos disguised as hope. Okay. And that is the same pattern that leaks into business. The woman who does this in relationship, let me tell you what she be doing in business to hold tight. So what she be doing in business is she overgives when it comes down to her offer so she can prove her value. She wanted to give 50 million things for $50 when this whole catalog is worth $30,000. She undercharging and over delivering out of guilt. She's keeping unaligned clients because she's scared of having an empty space. She feel like she's going to go broke. Again, the belief issue. Scarcity. She keeps launching with anxiety because her nervous system doesn't even feel safe if it don't have no drama around it. Here's the truth that women need to grasp. How you do one thing is how you do all things. The same nervous system you bring into your relationships is the same one you use to build your business with. So if chaos is your baseline, baby, in love, then it's going to become your strategy in business. Okay? And that's why nothing sticks, nothing sustains, and nothing feels safe. Okay? What changes all of that? Spiritual order, which is why it's at the top. Okay? A woman who stays in a toxic relationship Also, unconsciously self-sabotages in business, missing deadlines, overgiving, not raising prices when she needs to raise the prices. Why? Because she's loyal to chaos. She's loyal to chaos. She mistakes intensity for intimacy, in both love and money. Okay? So really, really think about this. What are you tired of performing? Like, for? Is it for business? Is it for health? Is it for relationships? The longer you are loyal to dysfunction, the longer you delay. Okay? Dominion. So it's so important and so vital for you to grasp this. Let me tell you why belief is so important in this aspect, okay? Why belief shapes your whole life. I talked a little bit about the root word of belief when it came down to Strong's, and belief basically means to be influenced by, to be committed to, or to be entrusted with something greater, right? Belief is not just wishful thinking, FYI. It's literally a legal agreement in the spirit. When you hear the Most High supplies all of your needs according to your glory, according to his riches and glory, when you say that I believe that, that means that's a legal agreement in the spirit. And God, the Most High, has to honor that legal contract. Your belief is like an imaginary signature. Having a contract. I believe you're going to do this because this is the contract that you presented to me. See, start looking at it like this. Here are the terms. I'm going to take care of you according to this. ... When you agree with that, you come into legalities. Okay, I'm signing that. So I'm agreeing with that. And the Most High has to honor the Most High's word. That is the agreement. So that's what you have to be in the space of understanding. It has to be on the same level of you. And the best way for me, the reason why I put it like that with a contract is because that's the easiest thing that people can grasp. Once you sign a contract, you locked in your beliefs. You locked in with your beliefs, niece. You're locked in. Whatever you believe, you locked in with it. All men are trash. Okay. You locked in with trash men. I can't lose weight. You locked in with that belief. You don't just believe in things, you believe into them. Okay? This is why it matters in love. And I'm going to try to be real clear with this because I don't want to misconstrue. A lot of you think you attract what you deserve, but you really attract what you believe you're safe enough to hold. If you believe you can't manage money, that's why you can't get more money. Your mind will sabotage love that disrupts your programming, even if it's steady, safe, and sacred. This could be the best person you ever met. You about to self-sabotage because it's boring, because your nervous system is loyal to chaos and drama. That's all you know. You know how you hear men say, man, or you hear men say to a woman, man, you never want to be a man's first baddie. You never want that because he don't know what to do with that. I will take that up a notch with us. Okay? So the thing is this. You never want a good man if you don't really know what to do with him. If you don't know what to do with yourself, if you don't know how to manage yourself, if you are not a safe space spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you're not going to feel safe enough to hold something healthy. And that's just for real. These are things that we really have to pay attention to. Thank you, Lovey. So unbelief doesn't just unlock, or how can I say this? Unbelief doesn't just block your business. It breaks your bonds. You could be having a good thing going on, but you believe this person is playing, you believe this and that. See, and I'm going to tell y'all something. This is where a lot of women mess up in dating. I'm just going to keep it so real with y'all. You're not dealing with your stuff. And you're not dealing with your stuff. And so because of that, you're coming into scenarios like, I don't believe nothing that this person say. I don't believe nothing the man say. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. Do y'all know that's not what you're supposed to be focused on in them scenarios? Did you know that? What that should be so far from your mind, because you're rooted in the fact that the Most High gonna reveal everything to you. There's never been a time that something was going on and you didn't find out about it. So the reality of the situation is this. You're not stressing about, if I don't believe what this person say. Your mindset is, if he lying, it's gonna get revealed to me. Until then, I'm finna enjoy my time. Hello. Until something is revealed to me, I'm gonna have a good time. Hello. Okay. So come on now. That's the mindset that you need to be on. Hold that for me, Peggy, for 1 second, and I'm gonna answer it. I'm almost done. That's how you have to be thinking. What did I just say about relationships? These connections, and you realize that sometimes you get on a revolving door with a stranger. These people are, see, if you look at all relationships in any form, connections and anything, as you going through a revolving door with this person could be a stranger. When they get off, what is you mad for? Somebody got to get off anyway. You either getting off in life or death first, or they getting off in life or death first. So if you have that understanding that somebody's leaving, you're not getting caught up. You're enjoying the moment, and until it's time for somebody to leave, they leave. It's time for them to go. You found out they're a liar. It's time for them to go. Oh, it was good while it lasted. Oh, I'm just so tired. I'm going through this back-to-back and dating, and I'm meeting this person and having to get to know them. Why is it getting all heavy with everybody? See, this is the problem right here. Why are you getting so heavy with everybody? Why is it, I'm tired of getting to know? What kind of getting to knowing is you doing that's exhausting you? That you can't even release a connection, a simple connection, a stranger. What are you putting into this that's draining you so bad? Giving that cat up, giving that money up, giving up your time, you're on a phone for 2 hours. 2 hours on the phone is crazy. It's insane. But go off. Your time is the most valuable currency that you have. You got 2 hours to be on the phone. I hope you got the money you want in your account. I hope you feel it's healthy. You done worked out today. I hope that everything that you want for yourself, you done went and did it. Because for you to give 2 hours, baby, you better not open your mouth and tell me you don't work out and you got 2 hours to be on the phone with that. You get 1,440 minutes every single day. Okay? I have a book in my link in the bio to grab. Like, you got 1,440 minutes. 1,440 minutes in a day. Working out is 4%. You can't take 1 hour to take care of yourself, but you got 2 hours to be on the phone with this person, and then you wondering why he don't even call me. We used to be on the phone for 2 hours. Girl, you didn't tell him your whole life story. He know nothing about you. There's no feminine mystique. Mystique is attractive. Little Miss want to be the black cat. You want to be the black cat so bad? Being the black cat means you have your own life. Have you ever had a black cat? Have you ever watched a black cat? Black cats barely want to be bothered. They want to be bothered when they want to be bothered. They want to be entertained when they want to be entertained. And they mostly want to be left alone to do what they need to do. But they know where you at. It's good. They're not attached. You can't position yourself like that. You can't position yourself like that because you got to be in this person's space. You got to be there. For what? I only have a tuxedo cat. That's so funny. For what? Why do you need to be there? Be okay with being with yourself and loving your own energy and creating some mystique. Y'all don't allow people to even miss you. You everywhere. And let me tell you, and I understand, and let me say this too, because I'm not saying this with no judgment. You're everywhere, and I understand why you're everywhere. Because it makes you feel like, right, you don't want to be forgotten. You want to be on this person's mind. You want this, you want that. But let me put you on real game. Let me put you on dark feminine game. You really need to sign up for the Black Sanctum with my Substack over there, where I really break all this down. But let me put you on real game. If you want to be in the mind of another, the best way for you to do that, the most honorable way for you to do that, is for you to focus on yourself. And what I'm telling you is science. I'm not telling you no woo-woo. I'm not telling you no gay psychological game. I'm telling you science. Energetically. Law of polarity. If there's one person, let me say, I'll use this. If there's one person that is pulling or pushing, there's another person who's backing up. If there is a person who is leaning in, there's a person that's backing up. So if you're backing up and you're on the mind and you, let me say this. If you're backing up and that person sees value in you, that person will lean in and will move toward you energetically. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. This will happen. If that person doesn't see any value, okay, or if could see some value, but that's not a priority right now, then you're not going to get the leaning in like that. And I'm going to use this in a simple way with clothing, okay? Let's just say you walk past a store, thank you, my love, for these gifts, and you see a beautiful dress. That dress caught your eye. So what did you do? You went to go and look at the dress. You turned around. The dress was so alluring, activated the senses. So y'all don't even plan to see marketing even use your own pimping on you. See, these are all feminine tactics. Marketing and salespeople know they can sell to women because women don't understand their own value and they use our own tactics against us. So you didn't walk past the store, see the dress, you turned around, put you in your masculine energy. Bing, 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 bing. Finna get you to start tricking. Bing, 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 bing. Here you go in the store. What's the first thing you doing? You checking out the quality of it, seeing if it's the dress paper thin. You know, you doing all of this before you check the price. Hey, lovey, you doing all this. Now, it's two things, right? If you're looking for value, you're going to examine the dress, make sure it's not paper thin, you know, make sure you look like the colors, everything, and then you're going to look at the price. If you're looking for something cheap, that's cute, the first thing you're going to do is look at the price and be like, nah, I ain't doing that. But if you're looking for value, and I hope you understand I ain't talking about dresses and I ain't talking about window shopping, and I'm not going to explain. But if you're looking for something cheap, that's cute. That's doable for right now. You're just going to go straight in, look at the price tag, like, oh, I can't afford that. Oh, yeah, I can afford that. Let me go ahead and get that. But if you're looking for value, it leaves a lasting impression in your mind. So even if that dress is beyond the price point that you want, hear what I'm saying? You going to go back home or you going to go back wherever and get your money up, get yourself together so you can come back and get that dress, aren't you? Because that's the dress you've been looking for. That's the dress that's value. That dress is so bad, you going to save whatever it takes to get that. You're going to trick all your money off. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the comments if you're grasping or picking up what I'm putting down. I'm teaching you a lesson in value. Okay? Value versus cheap. Okay? I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Value versus cheap. Again, all rooted in the mindset. All rooted in the mindset. So again, thank you, Lovey. I want you to consider the reason that you keep going backwards, you know, is because, how can I say this? Every time you try to elevate with a corrupted belief system, your old programming is always going to pull rank. See, this is why, and I'm going to say it again. When you, hold on, I just lost it. Let me scroll back down. Sorry. There we go. Every time you try to elevate, okay, with a corrupted belief system, your old programming is going to pull rank. This is why they tell people who had drug issues and different things like that, you can't go back to your old, community and your old friends and different things like that. Why? Because the law of proximity, your environment, the people around you, and all these things are going to influence your reality. So if you go right back into that reality, thinking, oh, I can't go, I could still be cool with this person and this and that. No, that old programming is going to pull rank, because the minute you feel uncomfortable, the minute you are faced with something that's challenging, if you're in a community of people who use, you're going to be more tempted to use and more likely to use. Belief is the architecture of behavior. This is why I tell you, belief impacts biology, and biology influences the way you behave. That's why women can have these pregnancy scares, thinking that you're pregnant, all this stuff going on. You tricked your brain into believing that. So if you could trick your brain into believing a lie, which a lot of us have tricked our brains into believing a bunch of lies, which is why we are held back. Just imagine if you could trick your brain into the truth. If you don't repair the belief, the behavior is going to repeat. Okay? If you don't repair the belief, the behavior is going to repeat. And this is why I created How to Reprogram Your Mind. Those years ago, right? I created a course called How to Reprogram Your Mind to achieve any single goal. It's not informational. It's not motivational. It's instructional. I'm teaching you and I'm telling you in this specific class how can I describe it? The best way to describe it. About the belief loop. How your mind rewires after trauma and what you need to do about it, okay? Because you hear people say like, oh, this happened and it rewired my brain. If you can rewire your brain this way, you can rewire it back. And if you don't believe me, let me just have you to pay attention. Everybody on here probably done seen once Final Destination. And when y'all get behind on the expressway and you see that nervous truck with them logs, you ain't never seen a truck with the logs falling off. You ain't never been in an accident like that. You only saw it on TV. And because you saw that movie almost 30 years ago, because that movie is almost 30 years old, that imprint of that truck and those logs falling got you so scared that every time you get behind one, you got to move because you about to have an anxiety attack over something that's not even real. You see how dangerous it is for you to believe a lie. Could that fall off and hit you? Yes. But I'm just trying to figure out, is your faith stronger that these logs are not going to fall on you? Or is your faith stronger that the logs are going to fall on you? Exactly. A whole generation afraid of logs. That they ain't never been in no kind of accident like that. So in this class, we covered the belief loop. Like I said, how your mind rewires after trauma and what to do about it. I also go over how to spot spiritual viruses, okay? And what I mean by that, like spiritual viruses that are formatting in your mind without your consent, right? How to stop performing for love and start protecting your internal code. I have a reprogramming protocol in there, spiritual, mental, emotional, behavior rewiring. You get all of that in there. And that's an older course. You get it for $197. But also, the second part of that is once you reprogram your mind, you have to reprogram your words and what you write. Your words, what you write in your womb are portals to wealth. Okay? What you write, what your words, how it speaks about there's power of life and death in the tongue. It's not a joke, not a game. We curse ourselves all the time. What you write, it tells you clearly to write the vision down and make it plain. A lot of you are writing in your journals thinking that you are venting, and you don't realize that you are repeating a time loop and keeping yourself stuck in a space spiritually and energetically, like almost just scripting yourself into that experience every single time. See, they tell you about journaling and they tell you to journal, but they don't tell you the power of writing and what it does. So you have a bunch of people who are out here just continuing to loop themselves in a circle over and over and over again. When you buy the class, How to Reprogram Your Mind, which the link is in the bio. It's $197. You get a Klarna Firm and Afterpay. You get a bonus live class that we're having on the 19th next week. It's called Words Become Flesh. Okay. What you write, you welcome. And I'm talking about the invisible contracts that you create with yourself and you come into agreement with by simple things, even the things that you are writing down. So I'm going to give you a little bit more information about what this is going to look like. So it's called Words Become Flesh, and what you write, you welcome. The invisible contracts hiding in your journals, your content, your captions, and your casual confessions, okay? Number one, you're going to learn writing as an agreement, how writing is a spiritual act of consent, even when it's unconscious. The difference between writing for awareness and writing for agreement, okay? What it means to document your dysfunction and unknowingly make it law over your life. See, this is how you start repeating cycles, because it tells you in scripture what? Write the vision down and make it plain. If you write a nightmare, then okay, it's still a vision. It's just a nightmare. But this is what you're writing down. Okay. I'm also going to talk about scriptures that prove that words are not just reflections. They literally are contracts. I'm going to talk about the journal trap, how venting, scripting, and shadow work can bind you to past identities if not recalibrated. I'm going to talk about why women who process through writing often get stuck in emotional loops. I'm going to talk about the hidden trauma language loops that keep you scripting and how it rewires your nervous system. I'm going to talk about the spiritual codes and social scripts. So I'm going to talk about the biblical origins of writing and how the power has been distorted. And I've talked a little bit on the live, and y'all can go back and watch them on YouTube, where I've talked about how there was a fallen angel in scripture. And it talks about this in the book of Enoch. I want to say chapter 69. And it talks about how one of the fallen angels' writing was something that was taught to human beings. That wasn't something that everybody was supposed to do. The reason why everyone wasn't supposed to have the gift of writing is because people would write laws and write things that were not true to trick people, even down to how certain Bibles are written. A lot of information is missing from the King James Bible. That's not a coincidence that they took those books out, right? It's not a coincidence that they changed certain things and flipped it. It's not a coincidence that these things happened because they wanted to train people based on this law that had been chopped up and screwed. But that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm going to talk more about that and break down more information about that. Also, hold on, because my thing just went down. Okay, there we go. So also we're going to talk about the connection between linguistic sorcery, legal systems, and digital surveillance. Lies have become laws. There are so many laws that are legal things and statutes that have been written based on lies. So I'm going to talk about linguistic sorcery, legal systems, and digital surveillance and what that's all about. I can't say this stuff on here because they're going to ban me. So this is why you got to come to class. I'm also going to talk about why captions, content, and casual complaints online are spells that you cast in public, whether you realize it or not. I'm going to talk about how AI and predictive text are retraining your language and your life. They're doing this on purpose. And I'm also going to teach you how to rewrite to rewire. So if you wanted to write yourself and, do it in a way, how to use language calibration to program your subconscious mind, daily scripts, like, what to say when you're writing, texting, and journal. And then I'm also going to talk about how to rescind certain written agreements that you may have done to yourself. Okay. So also the last thing that you're going to learn is how to begin really writing for your consecrated future and not a chaotic past. So these are the things that you're going to learn, you're going to get access to, because you really are going to have to keep your mind on things that are above. You're going to speak, write things that are above, because this is how you're going to position yourself. If you pay attention, the things that they have taken away when it came down to schools, like in the past 20 years or so, has been creative arts. People cannot read, people cannot write. This is on purpose. They're trying to create a generation of servitude, people who lack understanding and who have brain rot, because they're allowing AI and different things to just kind of predict and tell them whatever. So, exactly, cursive, can't even sign nothing. These things are being done by design. Okay, they're taking the art and things out, and guess what? You're gonna have to know how to read, you're gonna have to know how to write, you're gonna have to know how to create in order to thrive. Because did you see the article Did you see one of the articles I saw today that said, and that came from a leader, from the leader of the U.S., basically said that they need to start looking at things with jobs because they have no talent in the U.S. There's not enough talent in the U.S. All these educated people, and there's not enough talent. They are letting you know, I'm telling you, so you are going to have to get in tune with your creative and witty inventions because you're going to be so innovative, right? You're going to be so innovative and so immaculate that people are going to be like, oh my goodness, how do you know this? How can we work with you? How can we get this? Because what human creativity is an irreplaceable asset. And it's always going to be in stock. People are always going to be looking for it. It's always going to be in demand. These are the things that you have to pay attention to. So what are you bringing to the collective for yourself? Because you're going to have to learn how to create your reality or you're going to be a slave in somebody else's. And that's just point blank, period. This is definitely intentional. I teach my mentees cursive to all high schools. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vital and important. Extremely vital and important. But you can click the link in the bio to get access to how to reprogram your mind. How this will work is that as soon as you purchase the course, you'll get how to reprogram your mind immediately. Okay. And then you'll turn around on the 19th or the 18th, the day before, you'll get the link for the class on the 19th, Words That Become Flesh. Okay. What we write, we welcome. All right. Because you got to be very, very careful and clear these days. Write it down and make it plain so you can get it done and not writing yourself into oblivion or into consistent loops. Okay. What questions do you guys have for me? Drop them in the comments. I got an opportunity to share my office at a hair salon. Yes, ma'am. Congratulations. I know that's right. I know that's right. What questions do you guys have for me? Drop them in the comments. But that is basically, that concludes your mind is being formatted for and you're letting them. If you are not programming and mastering yourself, you're being mastered. You have a master. You have a master. And you're here to master yourself. You're here to get control of yourself. You're here to align yourself in the space of operating from the fruits. And that requires you to master yourself. So if you're not commanding your mornings, you're not commanding your days, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, then somebody else is in charge of you. And I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody being in control of me. That don't work well for me. You are living in a world where you can create your own reality despite the things that you are seeing happening around you. People are making money, things are happening. I'm telling you, get yourself in a space of alignment. Position yourself to receive. You don't need to make more money. You need to position yourself to receive more money. You don't need to make this happen. You need to position yourself so, where things are happening. But you can't do that if you're too distracted, if you're too worried and you lack belief. If you're in a space of scarcity, it's going to be a struggle. And the decisions you make right now is either going to position you for forward progression or poverty or prey. And none of those things are safe for you as a woman. So consider that. I don't see any questions. Click the link in the bio if you have any questions or concerns. Grab your ticket. Look like somebody grabbed their thing. So you'll get your email probably within the next 10 minutes. Congratulations. You'll get your email with how to reprogram your mind. And then you also will get your email for the following class, Words That Become Flesh, which is very, very important. Y'all, be careful what y'all saying. Be careful what y'all writing down. Be careful, be careful, be careful. That's the best thing I can tell you. For those who want to be in class, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that because, like I said, I'm going to talk about this digital surveillance because I don't think y'all understand how serious this is. Y'all be crying privacy. You hold tight. You hold tight. Privacy going to be non-existent. Okay? And your writing skills and your ability to be able to make it is going to be necessary. Think I'm playing? Because I promise I'm not. They are trying to build a generation of people who cannot read, who just going to be slaves, and they just have to take whatever. I'm trying to tell you. I am trying to tell you. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and go because I don't see any questions. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing evening. Click the link in the bio to subscribe to my Substacks. to my YouTube and any other of the courses or anything that you're interested in. And go on and become a paid member of Substack, baby, because I don't know what y'all thinking, but I know people feel like listen, y'all better go get this money. I know that. Y'all better go get this money. And don't say, I didn't teach y'all and give y'all what y'all need. I'm giving you everything so you can go and make money. If you want to keep being a slave in spaces that you don't have to be, go off, beloved. But if you want to free yourself from that and you don't want to have to get another job and do this and do that, you just need to streamline and really get in alignment. It's literally giving you the A to Z on how to get that done. And I don't know if anybody is already who is a paid member on my Substack, because I have several, quite a bit of paid members on my Substack. And so I don't know if any of you guys are on here, but if you haven't, make sure you go read that video. Make sure you go and read that article, because I'm breaking down the entire process. Take notes, set up everything. I'm talking from A to Z. This is what you pick and how you pick. This is how people are going to buy. This is what people are looking for. This is what you use when you get this. I'm giving you it all. So make sure you go over there. You can sign up for my Substack. It's $2.22 for the year or $22 a month. You choose. So yeah. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing evening. And this is going up on YouTube. And peace, y'all.